Hey everybody, Mike Steele here, Barbecue Champs Academy live. We got a great show lined up for you tonight. Got a couple cool co-hosts here, Mr. Aaron Leslie. Hey brother, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing awesome, Mike. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. It's this. Well, see, it's actually this away, so it's opposite. It's that away. That away. Oh goodness! And we also got Mr. Lee Hickle up in Arkansas visiting his parents. How you doing, brother?
Man, it's a hot Tuesday here in Arkansas, brother. Man, it's hot.
It's hot. It's muggy, humid here. I mean, this has probably been, it's middle of July, right? And I mean, about the highest temp we've had is like 96, 97, which is really unusual for Louisiana. And we haven't had a lot of humidity, but man, oh man, it made up for it today. It's pretty muggy out here.
Man. So they said this week was going to be like across the board. It's going to get back up where it's supposed to be. So
get hot, yeah. It's been nice, I mean, it'll be short lived because September will get here pretty quick. So at least it wasn't brutal all year like we've had. Man. So
it rained all day yesterday up here in Arkansas, and today it's muggy, humid. The crickets are chirping right now. I'm only an hour and a half away from you, Mike.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, we're close.
That's it.
Two weekends ago in Happy, it was 65 degrees. We're looking for a sweatshirt. When we got up in more than 11 hours, I'm like,
yeah.
I mean, 100%. This is in July.
I know it. That's crazy. That's crazy. Right. Well, we got some folks coming in. Mr. Russell, we appreciate you being here. Mr. Chase, we appreciate you being here.
What's going on,
Mr. Gordon, thank you for being here, brother. We got Mr. Bobby Stewart. Come on now, brother.
Yeah, Mr. Emmeline.
Mr. Emmeline, thank you for being here, Emmeline.
Emmeline up there in Ohio, Marietta.
Mr. Dirk, glad to have you with us here, brother, man.
What do you say there, Dirk? You got a drink?
Get Mr. Mark on here as well. We appreciate you guys. So want to give a real quick shout out to all our partners. Man, we couldn't do what we do without these guys. Mr. David with Gunnar Wilhelm Knives. Man, please keep David in your prayers. He is still battling this cancer. Went through a pretty rough round of some intensive surgery the other day, and he seems to be doing pretty good. He's in pretty good spirits, and he's hoping to be able to beat it. But he's got some pretty aggressive cancer, and he's doing everything he can to beat it. So also B&B Charcoal, man, tonight's show is going to be smoking hot with B&B, brother. So we appreciate them. Daigle's Barbecues, Rubs, and Sauces, and Raider Red Meat if you're looking for the hookup on that. Man, we can get you hooked up with call Kirsten, and she can hook you up with all the Prairie Fresh stuff that you need. Speaking of people that's going through a battle, man, we know that Caleb Jordan has been very, very sick for a very long time, and he's had a very rough go of it. He lost his life last night, and we certainly hate that. I know he was just a big part of the barbecue community, and I didn't get a chance to cook with him a whole lot, but I know he was a lot of fun to be around, and I was reading a lot of the posts today, and it's a shame when we lose one of our barbecue family, and he's had a tough go of it, I know, for the last couple years, and anyway, Godspeed to him, and hope everything is going to be good with his family.
Before I posted a photo on Facebook, I had to sit in an Uber, I had to have my head up the sky roof or the sunroof, and so like a weekend or two before that, when we cooked, we shared the stage, and we GC and RGC together, and that was a big moment, and then he started getting sick just a few years later, so it kind of just kind of went down. Try to see him every time I could.
Yeah. So anyway, but it's but keep that family in your prayers, and anyway, especially his kiddos, that's for sure. So.
What does Mark Pugh say? He wants to trade Texas oil dust for the B&B cap? Come on, man. Ain't no way.
Did he really just say that?
He did. Look at it.
He did. Hey, Lee, I have a Texas oil dust cap. You can trade that for that B&B cap.
Come on.
Oh, my gosh.
Goodness.
That's hilarious.
Old Mark just found him on the south end pole of the do not disturb list.
Yeah, that's for sure. Wow. Dang.
Yes, sir.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. I don't know what I done, but I done made my screen so dang small I can't even hardly see it. I hit a button. Oh my God. No drink. Man, if I can't reach y'all's text, sorry. I don't know I've never seen it do this before. I hit something. It didn't like it, whatever the case. I ain't gonna push too many more buttons. I may kick us off. So anyway, it's gonna get really small when I throw everybody else in here. So
I'd asked
anyway,
to have a drink when he first got on the show, and he said no to drink. He tried to drink it dry last weekend.
Oh golly. Right. There we go. Anyway, but yeah, if y'all have any questions tonight for our guests, man, throw them in. You know, we'll certainly ask them. See if we can get some information from them. D's in the house. Daddy Dutch, yes sir. So no drink. Just I tried to. I can't read this dang font. It's like font size KC 6.
Dry last weekend. Hit that control shift and start making it bigger, man.
That's it. That's it. Oh God, Justin West. Yeah, Justin will really mess you up if you ain't careful. Oh my goodness.
Tommy Sanchez from Sinton. Mike, you met him. He came with me up to Louisiana at the Architects Beer Festival. That's Tommy Sanchez.
Okay,
right there.
All right. I remember him. Sure do.
Dirty Sanchez.
Dirty Sanchez. That's it. I remember him. At one time, it's the only time I ever met him. So.
Yep, and that was a handful.
Yeah. Mr. Billy, thank you for joining us. Man, our guest we had on last week. Mr. Helms, man, glad to have him on here as well. So, I tell you what, we got about 26,000 folks on here. No pressure with anybody. So let's kick this bad boy off.
No pressure.
Man, I don't think this guy needs a whole lot of introduction. You know, he's freaking a world champion. He's freaking won all the big stuff. The American Royal, the Jack Daniel Invitational last year. Mr. Alby, brother, glad to have you on our show. Man, you had an outstanding year last year. And anytime that you can show up at the Jack and win that deal, was that your first or second time there?
That was my first time there.
First time there,
yeah. We've had years like in 2019. I think we had 5 bungs,
right,
and just didn't get drawn. You know what I mean? And so after 2019, we tailed off a little bit. And I really kind of told my uncle's my cook partner, and I told him, I was like, I don't really think the Jack's in the cards for us, man. Like we have a bung every year. We never get our name drawn. You know what I mean? And so I was just happy to go. And it was an awesome experience. But obviously, to win the thing, man, it's just kind of been a life-changing experience barbecue-wise. It's been amazing. So.
Oh yeah, it was an absolute blast up there last year. So I just I wished I could get a chance to go back, but it ain't gonna happen this year. I just hadn't cooked a whole lot. So. We'll definitely talk a little bit more about that. We're going to bring in our next guest. This guy right here don't need a whole lot of introducing himself. He's been destroying over here in Dadgum, Texas. Mr. Bud Brown with Smoking Bud's Barbecue. How you doing, Bud?
Mr. Bud Brown.
How are you?
Bud Brown. Man, I'm doing good, man. What a freaking turnaround season you've had. Your second full year. Kind of got your feet up underneath you last year, and man, I've been looking at your food. Your boxes look 10 times better than they ever did, and I think you've come a long ways. You've got out, you've cooked a lot, and man, it is showing. I mean, you're leading the bounty hunt for segment 2. I don't really see anybody catching you there, and man, you've been on fire, and it's been great to sit there and watch these young up and coming cooks. That's why we had to get you back on here, because you've been doing very well. Mr. Vince, glad to have you with us tonight, man. I hadn't seen you in a while, so hope you're doing well. And you've been doing good, both of you guys. So let's. I'm gonna start with you, Alby. When was I know last year you had a pretty banner year. You won the Jack, as we had just talked about, and you did pretty well at the American Royal, if I recall, because we were parked right next to each other. How did that go?
Yeah, we had a really good first day. 180'd in ribs and got third, and then we got another call in pork. And felt good about the other 2 categories, but we ended up getting 9th overall. And, coming off the Jack, I was just, stoked with that. I mean, I was super happy, so.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty good. And didn't you do pretty good at the Invitational? Didn't you go to that? Or am I missing?
The KCBS World Invitational?
Yeah.
We did. We did good there. We're good in Tennessee, man.
How did you do at the KCBS Invitational?
We did good. We had a really great weekend. So Friday they had a World Championship rib cook-off, and we won that. So started out the weekend doing that, And then Saturday, we had a cook that I would put up there with any cook that we've ever put out there. I mean, I felt so good about it when we turned in. I think we 180 chicken on day one, got maybe seventh in ribs, and ended up getting seventh overall with like a 703. I mean, it was a high score.
Wow.
But Brian Payton from Meet Me in St. Louis, which is one of my buddies, he won day one. I was so happy to see him and his dad win that.
Yeah.
But then just turned right back around on Sunday, and kind of put out another cook that when we turned in, I was like, that's solid. That's really solid, and it got the job done, and so we won our second world championship on Sunday.
Dang, that's awesome. That's a good year. Last year was a good year. So
the last 9 months has been pretty remarkable. I mean, it's been cool to be a part of it.
Yeah, it really is. Tell me your experience.
I'll
I know
we were email address. You can send me those notes if you want.
Yeah, we're gonna get all them notes here in a little bit.
I'm not gonna have any info left after this, right? Just we're
gonna have a backroom class when it's all over with. So one day I'll get stars fixed for my my Facebook page. We've been working on that for a year, and we're gonna have that that $100 star that we can pass all the information off when we get back to the back room. But I guess Facebook don't want to give me that opportunity because I've only called 100 different people, and you would think with the money we spend on advertising on Facebook, they could get my freaking star button fixed, but no, they can't do it. So anyway, do I seem upset? Well, yeah, I'm tired of that crap. So anywho, so you also got a chance to go to the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. I know we were pretty much right next to each other as well. Yeah, man, tell me what you thought about it, because I had never been down there as well. What was your experience with that? It was pretty cool.
I thought it was awesome. I really liked it. Yeah, and so okay, so me and you were parked next to each other at the Royal, and I kind of remember you coming over and be like, hey, tell me like KCBS brisket, like, is it sweeter? And in my mind, I was thinking, like, hey, just run what got you here. You're going to be fine. But then I kind of had the experience of going to Texas and questioning everything that I do. You know what I mean? So it's like, it really kind of made sense to me, what that was like. But no, the experience in Texas was top notch, man. Being on Champions Row, super cool. I would love the opportunity to go back sometime and cook it again. But yeah, I thought the experience was unreal. What did you think about it?
It was fun. I mean, it was a lot of people. Yeah. I mean, I thought the American Royal was a lot of folks. There was a lot of people down there. Yeah. It was jam packed. So
yeah, I can't even explain how packed it was just to get in and out.
I
mean, it was like it was just a sea of people. So
yeah. It was.
That part was probably sometimes a little bit much for me, but I thought it was a super cool experience.
It was
one big party, isn't it? One big party.
Yeah.
Hey,
man.
And the tents in Texas are big, aren't they? Holy cow, they're like circus tents 10 times over.
It's a bar, a complete set up bar,
right.
And but I'm trying to think. Travis Clark got a hold of us, and the tent that he was at, we went over there, and gosh dang it, there was a country artist that was just walk in. It was oh man, whoever sings the Watermelon Crawl, Tracy Bird? No, no, not Tracy Bird. Anyways, you know who I'm talking about?
I know.
Yeah.
Anyway, just walk in, and he's just there, just doing a concert, and you're 10 feet away. You know what I mean? So it was just Miranda Lambert was in there. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff going on, cool stuff going on. It was neat.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. 100%. Well, I'll tell you the coolest part I thought is like everything was inspected, right? I mean, you couldn't do nothing. So they come over, you had your ambassador. We had a pretty cool ambassador. I never forgot his name, but he was really cool. And he would
Jimmy?
you could ask him the questions and make sure that, okay, I don't want to screw up nothing. Here's my timeline. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's how long it takes me. And he was like, man, that's what we want to know, So when we come up, you've got a certain allotted amount of time to get your stuff done. And I just told him, I said, I'll start here. I should be done here. And he said, look, I'm right here by you. If you want to start, I can come look at something. You can start. So it was a really cool experience. It really was. They do have their crap together. I will say that. And
100%.
It was super well run. And I just couldn't find a flaw in it for as big as that competition was. I was just like, man, this is pretty dang cool. So they did a great job. I tried to get that ambassador. I got his name and I said, hey, we would love to have you on our podcast, right? Just. And he was like, man, I don't really know if the committee will let me. I was like, look, you ain't got to give nothing away. I just want to talk about the experience that we've had and how a lot of people think they're timid by it and this and that. And just really, man, you guys were great to work with. It's not nothing like what some people had told me coming into it. You were. And he said, well, I don't know. I never did call him. I gave him my number. I said, call me if you can do it. I never heard from him, but he was super nice. So
yeah, I would agree. And I don't know if you had this experience, but one of the rules is that the sauce has to be cooked on.
Yeah.
And so I probably, like most people, I mean, you touch up with sauce or whatnot. And I just remember the first experience I had with that was on ribs. I'm kind of like grabbing some sauce and touching up the inside of the bones. And he was like, hey, I just want to let you know, if you do that, that has to go back out on there.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, that's cool. I can do that.
Yeah, do it all in front of you.
Yep.
Yeah. So they were on it for sure. They knew the rules.
And they'll sit there and they'll bird dog you, right? They'll sit there and watch you, and they'll make sure that, hey, you're not making anything outside the rules.
Yeah.
They're pretty legit, but they're also kind of laid back. So you get some that are really laid back, and you get some that are real anal.
Yeah, we had a really awesome dude, man. And like he said, I mean, if you got to put it in the pit, shut the door, 10 seconds, pull it out. That's it. I mean, that's cooked on, baby.
Yeah.
High heat, baby, high heat. So, yeah, it was really cool. So, well, we'll talk a little bit about your, year coming into 2025. You've had a pretty good year. You hadn't cooked a lot, but I've seen you've done pretty well. Bud, we're going to roll over to you, man. And you've had a pretty decent year last year. What was the big turning point? How many GCs did you have last year?
I had one last year.
And how many GCs have you had this year?
I've had three.
Three. Okay. Big turnaround. A lot more top tens. So what was the turning point? Last year was pretty much, your first year. And going into it, what was your big, aha moment that, I mean, it's no stranger. Heck, we appreciate you giving us shout outs left and right. You've taken a few classes, and I think you told me, man, I'm really starting to learn. But what was the big turnaround point? Did you think it all just started coming together, watching the classes, seeing the techniques, improvising and making some of that stuff maybe on your own to get it to where all of a sudden you started to kind of turn the curve? Because, I mean, it was a big transition from last year to this year. What do you think that turning point was?
Well, I really think it's a little bit of everything that's gone into it. I got my first GC last October, and then it gave me some confidence where I had my processes down. I had everything down, learned a lot from that guy up there in the top of the middle, and then being able to adjust a little bit, especially on my ribs. And after I was confident with my product, then I started being able to focus on presentation. And went to the Rib World Cook-Off Championships and was ready for that. And then I just started focusing on, okay, what do I have to do every time? And just building my consistency. And to the point where, I'm waking up every morning at the same time. I'm trying to light the pit within 10 to 15 minutes every day. Every time, then I know when I'm going to light the chicken pit, when the rib pit starts.
Right.
And to the point where I, go into the camper. Now that I've got an RV and working out of there, I know about 10 minutes before I'm going to start slicing ribs or brisket, I'm turning off the air conditioner. I don't want it cold in there.
Right.
And put it in the box, having the timeline, setting everything in the same spot. People call me superstitious, but to me, it's all part of that process.
Yep.
To the point where if I'm at the turn-in table, I set the bag down, I unzip it, I set it on the table, I turn it around for the judge and hand it to him. So everything's just, I want it consistent every time. And that way, if I'm consistent, I keep on doing that, I don't go back and go, did I miss something?
Yep.
And I think that's a lot what I've learned this year is just keep that consistency. I'm pretty confident in my product that I turn out, making sure that it looks halfway decent. If I'm able to cut it up and look decent,
right,
it's going to look decent. Although sometimes ugly brisket wins.
Right.
But, just keeping that consistency week in, week out is what I think has helped me get where I'm at this year.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing. That's what I tell people all the time. One of the things, I try to be a super consistent cook, and man, I do the same thing every single time. I don't change.
Yeah.
Everything is done exactly the same.
You got to keep the same routine.
You
just said, you put your box in the same place. You put your turkey on the same side of the table. Your cutting boards on this side. Everything has to be the same, because if you miss a step, you'll know it because it didn't feel right.
That's right.
Something was out of place, or you're rushed, or whatever it is. I mean, you guys, Alby, you guys know. I mean, it's the same deal. No matter who's helping you, if that person's not there or you're not there on the right time, it affects the flow.
Oh, 100%. That's what, like, I can give a shout out to my Uncle Stan. That's who cooks with me. And I mean, if I need something and I put my hand up or whatever the case is, he's already got it there. It's already in my hand. He knows exactly the steps. And so, I mean, if you're lucky enough to have a cook partner, man, that's hopefully, he's like Uncle Stan, because that's a huge help right there. But yeah, just consistency. And I'm a huge timeline guy. I mean, I print it out, it's in my trailer, and it is my guide. And I'm not saying that the entire cook goes exactly by that timeline every single time, but I check off every box until the cook's over with, and that helps me stay on track. And I know some people are they cook enough, or maybe they cook every single week where they don't have to do that, but for me it's key.
Yeah.
Alby, did you have a hard time doing the half chickens for the Houston Rodeo cook-off? Was that a unique experience?
Quite a bit. Yeah, I mean, it was a good challenge for me, and I did spend some time practicing on it, and I think we were like 25th in chicken or something.
Oh, good.
I can't remember exactly.
Real good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were actually right there at Houston. We got 19th in brisket, and then our ribs bombed. We got 122nd, and we ended up getting 25th overall.
Yeah.
So, but had we turned in a better product on the ribs, I'd have felt really good about it. I had felt good about it anyways. I was happy to go down there, not really knowing what to expect.
Right.
So I was happy with that.
Absolutely.
You go down there and you win that jack again, you just let me know, and I'll come down and help you cook the chicken. You do your thing, I'll just have to
Hey, that's a deal, buddy. If that happens, let's do it.
I mean, I'll tell you what, we can do it up. I'll just be a pit bitch. That's all it is.
Shake on that. Okay.
You got it, man, right there.
That's hilarious. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I think you're right. Go ahead.
2 years ago at the Jack, I got a 4th place chicken. So it's a good fun thing to walk the stage. I wish I could have won it, but I was happy with the 4th chicken at Jack. So
I will real quick.
I mean, you trumped my 11th.
Give a plug to Barbecue Champs. I got on there and I watched Robert Smith's video on chicken, and that helped a lot. So that was really good. And also just, there's some stuff on Barbecue League, and I just I worked on as much as I could in the backyard.
Right. It helps just getting some techniques on half chicken, because man, if you've never done competition half chicken and you roll down there blind,
good luck.
Yeah, good luck, because you can see there's a lot of little things that go in that chicken that makes a big, big difference. So, and I think you're right. Being on time and having a schedule and stuff, I think is really important, especially with KCBS, because it is just such fast pace. And you're lucky. I mean, your uncle was super nice. I remember met him at the Royal. And it's nice because I think, you kind of said it, and Aaron kind of related to it as well. You know where everything is. The state competition guys, they cook so dadgum many competitions every single weekend. They're either doing 2, sometimes 3 competitions a weekend. And to me, it's all that they'll always say it's muscle memory. It's just you could blindfold those guys. I remember Terry Rohn was here when we filmed our Clash of the Titans, and he looked like a robot. He literally had all his stuff laid out, and it was just like push, doom, whoosh, wipe, turn, shut, time, pull. It was just like he was a robot. Never missed a beat. I mean, when I'm telling you, it was so just everything. And I saw him 2 times he cooked like that, and it was just like this here, up, lift steak, brush, spray, set down, time. And I was like, dude, you're like a robot. He said, it's muscle memory. and I swear I could blindfold him, and I think he could cook a steak and probably beat all of us. It's just it would just be like that. He just the layout of everything on their table is exactly the same, and I guarantee I could blindfold any of those guys, and especially Terry. I mean, John was pretty much the same way as well, and those guys are just so methodical on everything that they do. And you look at that and you see how successful they are. I mean, he's a world champion, and all these other ones that were here were just Matt was the points champion, John was the runner-up in the points championship in SCA, right behind Matt that one year. And you start looking at that and like, man, there's something to this. And I asked these guys like, how often do y'all cook a steak? We practice 4 to 5 days a week. And I was like, every night we're cooking a steak. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we're pretty much cooking a steak every single night. And then Friday we leave, go to a competition. We're either going to cook Friday night or a doubleheader Saturday. And I'm just like, really? And he's like, pretty much for the entire year. And I was like, God, and everything, the practice cook is exactly like a competition. And that's how they can roll into one of these things and just everything's exactly the same. So it makes us start thinking about our process, where are we doing, and that's kind of why I've always been. I mean, everything I do is the same, but mine came from the years of drag racing. I mean, everything was the same every time. When we did a tune-up on the car, whether it was doing the engine, whether I was doing a chassis, whether I was doing the clutch. I mean, I have log books that every time we go to St. Louis at Gateway up there, we had a race up there, whether it was in Atlanta, wherever it was, would pull out the book. We had a log. Here's what the chassis setup was. Here what the clutch was. Here's the track conditions. Here's all the atmospheric conditions. We knew what tune-up put in the car. So, and you did that every single time. I did it for, 12, 13 years that we did all that stuff. So but I think what you was referring to is you've kind of took away some of those things that can cause errors and just stay more consistent. And like Aaron just said, I know where this is, I know where that's supposed to be, I know where this is supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And if anybody, people like, oh, I want a pro tip, there's your pro tip. That's a pro tip that didn't, ain't a recipe, it ain't a technique, it's just being organized. And I tell people that all the time. I mean, would any of you guys agree that that's probably one of the number one things that'll help you be a better cook?
Yeah, and to me it is, because my trailer's been in the shop since I came back from Memphis, right? So going on 6 or 8 weeks, and almost 2 full months, right? And so I don't have my trailer, so I'm in a canopy, I'm in my Jambo, and I'm in one 6-foot table with a Cambro and everything, and I'm cluttered. I hate clutter. I can't stand everything not being where it needs to be, right? So I'm having to deal with that right now, and so now I know what I've got to buy this next round, because it's like I need an extra table. I need extra 2 tables. I can put this over here, seating over here. I can just have this as my prep table. And so I can't, having everything where it needs to be bothers me when it's not. And it's taking my head out of the game a little bit. And so this coming weekend, man, now I know what I need. I got my list. I've got everything I bought. It's taking every week to try to get there. But yeah, I think routine, being consistent, put things in the same place every time. You know exactly where they're at. Label your stuff, do whatever, make it easy on yourself. But every time you say, damn, I wish I'd done that, write that down and change that for the next weekend, because that's a huge thing for us. They're doing this every weekend that we can do.
Right. That's true. That's true.
And take away the things that you can be consistently good, but if you're being consistent, you're not seeing the results, take a look at what you need to change. Maybe there's some things in there that, some steps you can just get out of your rubber and just make it more efficient and supply the good product that the judges want to see.
Yeah, that's good. Albie, what you think?
And come to Midland like Bud every month. Come down to Midland for about a week and come hang out with us. And then he leaves there. He goes at GC's next contest or RGC.
That's it.
Yeah. I can tell you. If you want to know how I won the jackets, because I practiced nonstop from the time that I got drawn. That next day, like when our name got called, that next day, I called my wife immediately. I said, we made it. Pick up wings on the way home. And so that next day I was cooking wings, because that's something that I don't do normally. You know what I mean?
Right.
But from that day moving forward, after work, every weekend, if I wasn't at a contest, which I do 10 a year, so I wasn't.
Right.
If I wasn't at a contest, you better believe I was cooking in the driveway, but it was getting organized, getting everything together, putting a program together that you knew what needed to happen to get your end result.
Yeah.
And so, I think that, this is competition barbecue is extremely competitive, and 9 times out of 10, the people that win are the ones that work the hardest.
Yeah. That's 100% true. Yeah. I'm kind of like you. I mean, I knew I was going. I had never been up there. Only time I've ever cooked at KCBS is the American Royal. It's the only time. And, the American Royal is more of a crapshoot, right? Like, golly, man, there's 170 teams, there's 500 teams. And, man, when I went to the Jack, I was like, okay, I'm changing up everything. Everybody out there, and all of them called me stupid, but I just was not going to cook the food that I cook in Texas there. I figured I needed to tone everything down. So I had all new injections, all new rubs, all new sauces. I tried it. I tasted some ribs. I thought they were really good. I changed the cooking techniques. Normally, I always cook my ribs meat up. I cooked them meat down. So I changed up some stuff, and man, I don't know. I did good. I mean,
it worked for you.
Yeah, I finished ninth. I finished ninth overall at the Jack, and it was the only person that didn't have a top 10 call. I was just outside the top. I had a 11th, a 15th, and a 18th, and damn rib killed me. I mean, and I was on an angel table, but it was my fault. I learned a very, very, very valuable lesson. To this day, it haunts the hell out of me. I think I was on a table that had the 3rd and 4th place rib, and I needed 8 points, and I would have grand championed it. I had 171 on my rib, and the 3rd and 4th, they were both 179s, and it's just like everything was good. It was the texture, and I cook on a rotisserie, so I can't leave in probes. So I had these little, these little X4s with the little micro probes. I bought me some little bitty micro probes, right? And I tucked them in, and I stuck it in there so I could actually get pretty close to my temperature. Normally, I mean, we're cooking ribs to 212, nice, tender, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't want to overcook them. Because it's a rotisserie, it ain't like I can, leave a probe in it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to pull them off a little early, and I think I'll be good. And they hit like 209, 210. I was like, yeah, that's probably where I need to be. And, man, I had an extra one of these little probes, and I stuck it in there. Man, it felt so nice and so tender. I was like, oh my gosh, these ribs are perfect. And man, I put them things in the Cambro about an hour and a half later. About an hour and a half later, I pulled them out, went to cut them. My heart sunk. I mean, it was the toughest rib I ever cooked in my life. I took a bite and couldn't even hardly get it off the damn bone. And I was like, what in the... I don't understand it. I mean, and when I probed it with that...
hard on yourself.
I probed it with this right here, and it felt so tender, and I could not figure out what the heck. I went to the American Royal, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, did the same process, and that rib hit 209, 210, and this time, instead of using this little bitty micro probe, I grabbed my Thermapen, my normal, Thermapen, and I poked that deadgum rib, and that rib was like sticking a damn football. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And the reason is because this thing was so freaking small, there wasn't no resistance on it compared to like when you fill it with the Thermapen.
I was gonna say you change the diameter of your needle.
Yep, by a lot.
I use my Thermapen every time. I use my green Thermapen. It probes every meat. It's the same size, everything we do.
And that right there was the difference. I mean, when I probed it, I was like, oh my gosh, it was still 209, 210. I cooked that rib for another 30 minutes. The temperature was like 210, and I poked it, and I was like, that's perfect. 7th place rib. Had a 179 and some change, and day 2, I had a 20th place rib out of 460. And that haunts me, and it's going to haunt me for the rest of my life because it was the toughest rib I've ever cooked in competition. And just like what Aaron said, I didn't grab my Thermapen. I just had that thing sitting there, and I probed it, and it felt so tender. But man, that diameter of that thing is 3 times smaller than a Thermapen. So that's the little lessons that that I've you learn and I never had used that before, but it was right there, and I feels good. And man, just crying, literally just crying. So
We were at
anyway,
a
but
cook-off
yeah,
one time, and a guy had a therm pin, and I said, "Hey, you check." He has Aaron need help checking my brisket, so Paul ran over there and just poked it, right? Just give him an eyeball feel how he feels it is, and then he says, "Aaron, go check that brisket. I think it's okay, but he's about an hour and a half more." So I probe it. I said, "Yeah, it's good." The guy walks up, and I said, "Hey," he goes, "Hey man, this is probe tender. It's 204 degrees probe tender." I mean, dude, I mean, elevation is elevation, right? He's about 1,200 feet. I said,
right,
man, there's no way 1204 is going to get it, but it's okay, man. Let's go check it. We all went back over there. All three of us went back over there. We checked it, but he was using a different, like a thermopop, a
yeah,
little smaller needle, right?
yeah,
And then he grabbed a toothpick and he probed that toothpick in there. And I said, man, you're all over the board, right? You're not using the same thing. I said, what were you probing your meats with? Well, my thermopins in the trailer, but I have this out here. I said, those are
yeah,
two different size diameters, right? So
yeah,
when Tommy got him on the right track and he probed it, he goes, oh my gosh, it's like stiff. I said, well, it's only 204. I mean, give or take, you should be around the 210, give or take
212,
range. And they start
yeah,
looking, you're 1,200 feet, no big deal. We
right,
start probing tender. So, but that was a big thing, was that a lot of guys don't realize that when they grab a toothpick or a third pin or a third pop or even the eye grill that they use, those eye
yeah,
grills that mount up there, something big and thick like that, it's a whole different texture and a whole different feel. So being consistent is the key word. I guess you can say consistency is the word tonight. That being consistent on what you're using to check your temperatures with is a huge thing.
Yeah,
right,
I think the trap that we can fall into as competition cooks is making a small change, or what we feel in our mind is a small change. It's not going to make a difference, and it does. And especially if you make two or three of those small little changes, that
yeah,
you kind of think like, yeah, this ain't no big deal. And at the end of the day, you go back and look and say, why did I do all that?
yeah.
Why did I make these changes?
Yeah, and it was the whole time when I was just sick. I mean, coming home when I found out that I was on the deadgum angel table and the third and fourth place rib was on my table, and I was just, for the life of me, I was like, I don't understand why that rib was so tough. I mean, it felt great. It was 210. There's no way that rib should have been that tough. And it didn't rest very long. I think it had like an hour rest, and they came straight out right into the Cambro. I was like, I just could not figure out what it was until I got to the jack. And when I did it and I grabbed that same pin, I just happened this time I grabbed my thermopin. And when I did, my heart sunk. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, could not, what the heck? I'm gonna kick myself off here. I literally could not believe that, and just like Aaron said, it was that aha moment, like, you stupid idiot. You freaking tempt your rib at the freaking jack. I went in there and told Susan, I said, well, now I know what the heck happened to my rib at the jack. She said, what is it? I said, use this I wanted to grab that freaking thing. I'm surprised it didn't end up in your trailer. So I wanted to throw that thing through the freaking wall. So,
Well, man,
I would have already, I'd have chunked it out. I would have chunked it like over the international side or something. I just chunked it over there. Let those guys take it back down.
man,
I would have thrown it away.
Yeah,
I'm really sorry about your ribs at the jack, buddy. But with the end result, I
know.
Thank you.
You're good. You're good.
He is excited you didn't have that rib that you needed, man.
He's excited because, man, I'm telling you that I had great scores on taste and all that stuff, and appearance was beautiful. It was just that damn texture was just. It's just like, gosh, you gotta be kidding. My heart sunk. When I cut that thing, I was like, oh my gosh, this is not good. So,
all right.
Anyway.
Hey, Bud and Alby, so as far as fuel source and pits, what do you guys use for competition?
So fuel source, I use Rockwood charcoal out of Missouri. And then I use 3 drums is what I cook on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, is it lump? Is that lump you're using?
It's a lump. Yeah, it's a lump. Yeah, and I don't even put any wood chunks in. I run that, and that's it.
Just straight lump. And I can vouch for it because I was watching him the whole time.
Is that a hickory, an oak, pecan? What is that?
That's
what is that? Do you know?
That's a hickory and oak blend.
Hickory and oak.
Hickory oak blend. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Bud, what do you run over there?
I'm running on all barrels, and of course I'm using Texas Oil Dust. old-fashioned charcoal.
There you go.
And pecan chunks.
Okay.
One of the things that I moved over from an offset last year to using all drums this year is trying to get the offset taste on a drum. And I think a lot of people go, "You're putting a lot of chunks in there of wood." I'm like, that's how I'm getting that wood-fired taste into it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I use a whole split. I like the whole split of wood in there instead of chunks. Because it burns down the center, right? So you get a little top end and it just keeps burning the whole time. You get a little extra smoke. It's not like you have chunks on the top. So I like a little split in the middle of my fire basket.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm mixing it throughout the basket a little bit. I'll fill it about halfway.
That's cool.
I know I'm going to light it on the sides, so I try to get the fire started and work toward the middle, and then have it go down and have some good wood throughout the.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, if anybody's got any questions y'all want to ask, man, fire away. I mean, we're trying to give you a lot of tips, a lot of little odd and end things. Don't do like I did. I mean, that's a life lesson right there that I really think people need to understand. You know, I mean, one little
Alby,
thing in your instrument can screw you up.
When you're cooking KCBS, which I'm assuming is the league you cook in mostly is KCBS, do you do wings, flats, thighs, legs? What is your chicken for chicken?
Yeah, not half chicken.
Turn a half chicken in. Come on.
I'm running legs right now, and I cook primarily KCBS. I've been cooking for 11 or 12 years, and up until 2 years ago, I was all thighs. But I switched to legs 2 years ago and kind of never have looked back on it. So.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And when you cook your ribs for KCBS, are you doing the magical 6, or are you trying to do one more in the box, like 7 or 8?
Generally speaking, I find the best 6. I mean, that's kind of, I would say, every meet with KCBS. I see a lot of very pretty boxes out there, and don't get me wrong, I think my boxes are pretty, but I'm all about finding the best 6 pieces that I need to put in there. And that goes for pork too. You know what I mean? And so if there's a little bit more green in the box, but I know that the pieces that I'm putting in there are the absolute best, that's what I want.
Right.
Okay. Don't give them an extra. Okay. So let me ask you a question. When you put them in there, do you do 5 across and 1 in the front as a presentation, or do you do 3 and 3?
I do 5 and 1.
5 and 1.
And then I go back and forth just between on the one rib, whether it's going to look best in the front or in the back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
right.
Like I kind of mix between that. So.
Right.
You know, I have walked. Lucky for me, I have walked 3 out of 5 years in ribs. I got a ribbon. I've got ribbons in all of them, and it's always been with 6 ribs. And a picture frame around it. Make sure you cover all of everything up. Make sure it looks really good. But I've always have had the best luck with the 6 rib combo instead of trying to go for the big show.
Yep. There you go.
I mean, I've had times. I mean, where I got 2 or 3 unbelievable racks that they all taste the same. That is very rare. Usually, I got one rack that is by far the best, and I'm going to try to get 5 bones out of that one, and then find the best one off from the next best one and put it in there. And that's generally what I go with. Right.
Yeah, we can't be all like this guy that can cook like freaking 10 ribs and put in a box and make them look good. Chicken fried. I mean, his dadgum stuff. I mean, I saw the dang boxes he was doing this weekend. I'm like, good Lord, have mercy, man!
They did look good.
He's back there freaking lacquer paint and spraying these damn things. It's crazy. So unbelievable. So yeah, it just seems like that. And it was funny. Lee, who's the guy with the big hat? Eric Cantrell. That's it. Because I was asking when I went to the Jack, like, man, I don't know, And he's like, how many ribs you gonna do? I said, I don't know, probably 6. He said 5 and 1 in the front. He said, don't do 3 and 3. It'll score better. And I was like, man. So it's the little things like that. I mean, he's a KCBS master judge. He's judged over 120 competitions. Yeah,
all of them.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. You got a brand preference on ribs for KCBS. What you got, Alby?
I'm Team Compart, man.
A Compart. Okay.
On ribs and on pork.
Yeah. Okay. So let me ask you a question, and if you don't have to answer it if you don't want, we don't want to shig too much. Do you push those ribs like a Prairie Fresh? Like for us, we'll take a Prairie Fresh 212. Of course, it's got to almost fall off the bone. Competition, I think I did mine at the American Roll like 210, right? Can you push a compart rib that high, or does it have to be a little bit lower?
No, I mean, for me, 211, 212, and I mean, I'm all by feel, you know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
When it gets to that point, but yeah, I'm generally, depending on the length of the cook, if they're cooking really fast, I'm definitely going to push them way up there. If
Okay.
it's coming along a little bit slower, I might kind of start tuning in around 210, but yeah, I mean, I'm pushing them pretty far.
You're pushing them pretty far. Okay.
Um,
And you'll push them a little bit further if they're getting done earlier. You're pushing them because they're going to tighten up some, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
See there?
Yeah, that, and I mean, the faster something cooks, the higher internal temperature it's got to be to get the desired tenderness you want. You know what I mean?
There you go. You want a pro tip? There it is, right there.
it is.
There's you a pro tip.
Yeah.
That's it. So that's crazy. Wow. All right, Bud. What do you?
Bud, so, yeah, go ahead, Bud.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, Bud. So you're cooking on drums and stuff. So what rib? What's your preferred rib?
Yeah, I've been rolling with HEB Naturals all year, and they've turned out excellent. It seems like whenever I've noticed, and excuse my ignorance, like the flap on the backside of the rib, they're trimming those off. So I'm assuming they're weighing the rib. So I'm getting a bigger rib, 4 to 4.5 pounds, hopefully in that area, that I know is 4 to 4.5 pounds. So typically I've been getting a thicker, even wider rib, even though I'm trimming it down on the cartilage side.
Right.
And they've turned out really well for me this year.
Okay. What brisket are you cooking, Bud? Are you doing a prime? You doing Wagyu?
I've done Snake River Wagyus all year.
All year. Okay. What about you, Albie? Do you do A9s or you do snakes?
I'm A9s, yeah, specifically from Kevin Green at the Butcher Shop in Pensacola.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
That's interesting. Yeah, I've tried one when David Bosca came to film. That's what he brought. He brought one of those, and it was a good piece of meat. So
yeah, they're very.
Your HEB Naturals, Bud. Go ahead. Sorry, Albie. I didn't mean to.
Oh no, I'm
sorry.
To cut
you off.
I mean, they're extremely marbled throughout. I did cook one in Texas, and I really pushed it a lot further than I would have in KCBS.
Yeah.
But we really had to push it because they're so marbled. So, I don't know if it's common for Texas folks to cook it or not. But in KCBS, man, I mean, I feel like it's the way to go.
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't know if a whole lot of people doing A9s in Texas. I know Shane's been doing some. Shane LeClaire, he's been cooking some here lately. And I don't remember. Yeah.
I mean, our local grocery store sells SRFs, right? We get the blacks all day long at our grocery store. So we can just go there and pick our choices what we want. Primes all day and Snake River Farms. We have an abundance of in our local grocery stores. So it's pretty good living in Texas.
Yeah. Yeah. They got a lot of them, that's for sure. Y'all are beyond blessed with freaking HEBs over there. It's crazy. So,
well, like Bud said, HEB Naturals, and that's usually a Swift rib. And so a Swift rib, but when you flip the package over, sometimes you'll get lucky they're IBP rib. And IBP is a better, darker color red, and it's got a better marble to it. So he is right that depending on which one you get, but the HEB Naturals are really good, and I cook the IBP as well. So I do IBP or the Naturals, depending on which one I can find. And it's all about the color, and where you can find them at. So that's definitely a big thing for us, especially with 2 HEBs here in Midland, 2 in Odessa. I'm able to go to four places as I'm making my rounds and trying to find a better rib. So I think out of all those 4 HEBs we have here in Midland, Odessa, I think only one of them kind of averagely cooks or sells the Snake River Farm Black. And that's about it's there's only one that does it. But it depends on who what they sent them,
Right. Right.
But yeah, that's usually what you're cooking is a Swift or an IBP for those naturals.
Yeah.
Albie, with the Jack Daniels coming up in a couple of months, do you have any pointers on the weight of the chickens? Do you weigh your chicken thighs? I know you do legs, but I guess do you weigh your legs too?
Yeah, I do weigh them. I do that so I can get a consistent cook on them.
Right.
The weight I generally go for after trimming them is, like 4.5 ounces. something like that.
Okay.
Give or take a little bit. I don't really like to get them 5, and I don't really want them to be below 4. But if I can just kind of play in that middle area, then I'm good with that.
Right.
Are you 6 or 7 in the box on the legs?
Well, yeah. So at the jack, especially with the wings, so it was a game time decision. I put 7 legs in and 1 wing.
Okay.
So I just because you don't have to put 7 in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my legs I thought that they were phenomenal, and we won the table. You know what I mean? Got 19th.
Right.
But I didn't really think the wings were as good as what I had been hitting at home, and so I didn't want to chance it by putting a bunch of wings in there. It kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier: put the best stuff in the box. You know what I mean? I kind of felt like maybe I was taking a chance, and me and Stan had a little bit of disagreement at the end there, but I went with my gut and I just put the 1 in there because I knew that the legs were better.
Yeah, that's usually your safest bet because, like I did, 6 thighs and 6 wings. And I was 11th the last time I cooked the jack. A few years back. So, I mean, it was a great call. Then I found out, you can just put 1 wing in a box with your 6th or 7th. I was like, oh, man, I want to slap, but it's one of those things you got to go compete to find out not how to cheat, but you got to go compete to find out the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
I did 6. I did 6 and 6. I stacked them. I put my thighs in there and I crossed them in there. I had never cooked wings in a competition in my life before. It was my first time to ever do a wing. I think I finished 15th, Lee, in chicken, 11th in pork. So. Yeah, 11th in pork and 15th in chicken. And I mean, they were good. I mean, they were tender. I was like, man, these taste pretty good. I didn't know. I don't know what the heck they want in a wing. I just said it tastes good, so put it in the box. So.
I'll tell you, once I got my barrel head and the chef's choice, I don't remember much after that.
Yeah, that's it.
I took my photos and I heard Snuffletown smoker. I'm like, but I didn't really care, man. I got that barrel head. I carried on the plane back. I'm good, man.
That's it.
I'm
finally, man.
I don't know if you've seen it, but LC he was right in front of me, so he took the entire video of when we won. I'm glad he did that because I wouldn't have remembered shit from it.
Yeah.
So it was cool.
Yeah, it really was. It was awesome.
We watched him. We watched him come out the back, come down the deal, and nice and slow. I mean, it was just like everybody was right there in the middle of the deal in the tent wise, cheering for you. But I'm in a few good moments, but I don't remember too much after I got my head. So
sure.
I don't care.
That's it.
Hey, is that where was last year when Razor Rack had a first in the first? Was that last year?
Yeah.
Yes.
When everybody was thinking he was going to get it.
Yeah.
Me
included.
Right. I mean, my calls were not super high. I think it was like a 7th in pork and a 4th in brisket. So like when we were coming back after that, I was just thrilled that we heard our name twice, and I was thinking in my mind, hey, we might be in top 10. Now, I thought the chicken was great, and I thought the ribs were phenomenal. And so that was just kind of in the back of my mind, like, ooh, is there a chance? Mm-hmm. I really didn't think it until, some of those names started dropping off.
Right.
And I don't remember the order of it right now, but it kind of got down to me and Jordan Kirkpatrick, Janky Leg.
Right.
But there was another team that had 2 calls, I think.
2 calls,
so that was in the back of my mind, too. And then so when they called Jordan, I was like, well, it's either me or Mark Bowman, which is one of my buddies from Indiana.
Right.
It's one of us, I think. And so, yeah,
when Razor Racks got called, you could almost hear the word "whoa."
Yeah. For sure.
Oh, I mean, everyone's got, and then we're like, okay, wait a second. And you hear Jordan? He's like where I was at. Jordan's to my left. And he's bitching about his wings, man. He tried to cook wings. He was having a hard time cooking wings. He's pissed off, he's just mad about his wings. And I was like, and then he gets called, and I went, wait, I'm on fingers. I'm trying to count, like, who's left, and then they called you, and I was like, what? I mean, I was thinking Razor Rack, but I've seen that 2 first and a whatever. Yeah. It just didn't quite hit. So congratulations, man. That's badass.
That was awesome.
I appreciate it.
Awesome.
I do appreciate it.
That was awesome. Well, man, I hope you.
I was like,
yeah. I wish you all the luck in the world. It takes a lot of luck. My dad's always like, well, do I wish you luck, skill? I said, it ain't the skill. I'll take all the luck I can get because, man, I mean, the skill's there. It's just, I need the luck because, You got to get on good
you got above
tables.
your door now?
That's it, man.
You got to have both. You know what
You
I
got
mean?
yeah.
You got to have a good cook, and you got to hit the right tables
You got to
too.
hit the right tables.
100%. You know what I mean?
100. Well, man, I hope you do great this year. Good luck there, and going back to the American Royal. When you win it, you're going to have to come back on the show. And you got any?
I'd love to be back.
I'll promise you. I promise you, we will. You got any sponsors you want to thank?
So Miller Amish Country Poultry provides my chicken, and that's an Indiana-based company. Team Compart, Clark Crew, Butcher, JDQ, Local Yokels, Heavy Smoke, and then Smoke and Ghost.
Okay.
So that's my team.
Oh, Paul.
That's good.
Everybody
Nice.
that helps me do what I do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Bud, what about you, buddy?
Nice.
Well, I want to thank you and Barbecue Champs because that, in Aaron's class put me where I'm at today. Appreciate y'all. I guess as far as sponsors go, Bubba's Blue Plate Barbecue Supply in Mineola, Texas. Can't forget Texas Oil Dust, AJ's Custom Cookers, and Prairie Creek Ranch Farms, where I get my chickens from.
There you go. There you go. Well, guys, I hope y'all have enjoyed our show. Good luck to you guys cooking for the rest of this year. Wish you guys all the best, and hopefully we'll have y'all back on here soon. And for everybody that joined us tonight, we do appreciate y'all being with us. Lord willing, we'll be back next Tuesday night, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern for another one of our episodes. And as we always say, y'all go out there, have a lot of fun, and smoke on.
And like Bud says, take the class.